Hello, hello, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Oh, I didn't even realize I had the goblin face on the printer still.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm printing one of the wooden boxes in the other printer there, except it's that gummy filament. Oh, thanks for the follow. It's 3D Creations. Creations.
I think
Oh,
he's going with
creations.
creations, but spelling it weird.
Yeah. I'm old.
He's got that leet spelling going on, bro.
Oh, that's not neat.
Hello from Spain. Hi, Spain. How you guys doing over there?
Hopefully holding up well. Well, we shouldn't get the beeps from my UPS anymore. I unplugged all of my printers from it.
Yay.
Knock on wood.
Oh, I wanted to show you guys what I did here. This is still in process. It's kind of getting preliminary placement and everything like that. It'll take a second to load here. Point. There's a lot more stuff going on this screen here.
I see.
Yeah, once we hit some of these goals, I'm going to start giving away some merch. Artillery has said that they're going to kick in. You'll see some of these coming up here. It's random, so
Cool.
Come on, scroll through. There we
I'm
go.
gonna have to add my merch to your merch.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the idea behind this too, some of the other companies that have contacted me for sponsors and stuff like that, yeah, I'm going to do separate rotators and things like that, and filament companies, maybe printer companies, but I doubt it because this is primarily an artillery natured thing here. I don't know, maybe if we have some enemies out there, we want to drop some pain in their lap, we'll get them a other brand printer. I'll leave the brand names out of it. I won't slap anybody today, but
I got one on my mind right now.
yeah, you were telling me about that.
Oh, that thing is just irritating me. I cannot believe anybody would make a hot on that poorly. I don't get it. I see the complaints from guys that don't know how to use the direct drive on the artillery. This is like, I mean, the artillery problems are like child's play compared to this thing.
I'm reserving judgment until I see it, but I've kept up with another. By the way, folks, we're talking about the Chimera. I have.
No, I'm not talking about the Chimera.
Okay.
I'm talking about the area one.
Oh, okay.
At hot end.
Well, you were hollering about the Chimera earlier too.
Yeah, I was, but that's because I don't like it. But that's just personal preference. It's not
Right.
functional.
I have high hopes for the Chimera in that particular case. Like I've already stated before, on the artillery machines anyways, you really need to go, or why wouldn't you go with the Volcano hot end on it? I mean, that's
right.
Kind of the whole idea behind this.
The other thing I don't like is the printed mounts. I mean, not that he didn't do a good job of designing them, but I think they could have came out with a better mounting plate for it.
Well, they're
So
leaving
it worked right.
they're leaving it up to third-party people to come up with the mounts. Yeah, the printed mounts out there suck.
I mean,
Yeah.
what would it take to make a backing plate?
Not very much.
I mean, that's my only thing is like if you're gonna want $140 for a kit to put on my $400 printer that I got to do all myself anyways, you could at least make it easy on me and not have to print something.
I'm keeping my mouth
I'm not.
relatively shut with regards to the mount kits and stuff like that. If everything works out a little closer to summer, get a decent operation for being able to produce some CNC related items. Those Hemera mounts will actually be something that'll be done in metal. Screw the printed stuff. That's part of the problem out there too.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna wind up with with warping or what have you, or even like getting loose. And this is where I see it being the Achilles heel on that whole setup. I mean, I'm all for 3D printing stuff. I mean, you see that I have it on my stuff, but for mounts, I need something metal. I don't know. It's just a personal thing.
Hey,
Well,
Hobby, how's it going?
I would think that for a hot end, you don't want to deal with any kind of a printed part that's going to be anywhere near your hot end for the most part. I mean, fan ducts and stuff, those are a little bit further away, but when you're mounting it directly to, a plastic part, it just doesn't seem like a good idea.
Well, the strength and the heat, yeah. I mean, because you can use different filaments. I get it, but because I did the ABS covers, which work out great, but there's a lot of flexing in that. Whereas you get like a aluminum plate or even a metal plate, at least it's rigid. I mean, that thing's moving back and forth and slapping back and forth and riding on the bed, and anything you bump into is going to wind up causing it to flex or bend, which to me is like, okay,
Well,
I just spent all this money for a part.
the thing that would worry me about it is, how good are people going to be at printing on higher temperature plastics? Because if you're dealing with, if you're wanting to go to higher temperature, say you decide to, maybe you figure out how, okay, I can print this in ABS. Now it's got to sit there, and if you're printing ABS, now you've got the same temperature right next to the plastic part that you're dealing with. And so you want to have your mounting plate to be of a higher temperature resistance than what you may be potentially printing. And if you're printing something as well, that's already going to be near. That's not a good idea.
Plus, if you're already dropping $100 on a extruder, or you're putting $100 into that whole part of the system right there, that's kind of like ordering a beer and pouring half of it out and filling the other 2/3 of the glass up with a wine cooler or some horse shit like that. I mean, I don't know.
Right? I don't know. Like I said, and they made like a volcano version of it, which makes sense to me. I almost bought one. I really did. I almost bought one, and then I stopped myself, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let a few other people buy this first and play with it and see what happens. And there's a couple of shortcomings in the setup already, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna wait.
Hey, Warrior, how's it going? Where you're at? Where you at in the world?
Oh, hi, Warrior.
Oh yeah, and Hobby, we do fan ducts. Everybody does fan ducts.
Yeah, but the only problem is they go. In fact, I'll grab one. I have one just the other day, just because it's not set to these temperatures. I did some ABS and.
Well, the thing is the fan ducts have got cool air blowing through them all the time anyway, so it makes it a lot better as far as that's concerned. You've got cooling air blowing through it, whereas something that's behind your hot end, it's directly pulling heat from the hot end is mounted right up against it, so it's like going to be pulling the heat right there from it. Whereas the fan duct, it's a couple of at least 10 millimeters away for the most part, and it's not in direct contact. and you've got the cool air blowing through it, so it's going to survive better against any kind of heat transfer.
It's the water balloon and blowtorch concept. You can take a blowtorch to a water balloon and it won't break right away anyways. Yeah. Warrior, printing on your new X1. You got any pictures or anything like that? If you can hop on our Discord. There's links in the chat. You can hop on our Discord right there, and we've got a special channel devoted to user pics. You feel free to upload some up there, and when it comes time for show off and everything like that, I'll show them on the stream here. If you got anything you want to show off right now. I think you can do video on Discord too, can't you?
Yeah, you should be able to upload a video.
Okay.
But yeah, I was talking about the fan duct, and that's from heat. Just tore it right off. And then the fan had no worky after that.
Well, no, did you say is that printed in PETG, or is that just regular PLA that you got that in?
That's PETG, and I was doing ABS, I admit, but now they're both ABS because I want the higher temp ratings, but it just caught it weird, and sure enough, melted it and tore it right off. I was like, oh, man.
Well, that's good to hear, Warrior. I'm glad it helped out. That's what I put them out in the wild there for. It's supposed to be about printing and not playing forever with your printer trying to get it to print. That's kind of what the whole idea is, and anything we can do to make it go a little bit easier, especially for people that might be new. And it really doesn't matter. I mean, if you're an old hand with these printers and things like that, every time you get a new brand of a printer, or even a new model in some cases, there's always that learning curve, even if it's small. And everybody, everybody's always hunting for the ultimate profiles and things like that. There isn't any such thing, because you've got different conditions at where you're at. Christopher's got different conditions where he's at, so on and so forth. There's going to be tweaks and modifications you're going to have to do to the settings and things like that to kind of tailor them to your needs. But at least we can get you close.
It's like being a pirate. There's kind of guidelines, but we don't really follow them.
Rum. More rum.
We can do rum.
Oh, yeah.
You need a lot of it some days with this printing sometimes.
Well, I usually keep some handy.
On some of the painting channels that I've watched in the past, I don't know if they've changed guidelines or anything like that, but some of the painting channels where they get rated by other channels and things like that, they've turned into Twitch drunk fests. And over the course of like a 2-hour stream, 3-hour stream or whatever, you can just kind of see the people slowly but surely getting lower in their chairs, and their eyes start getting thinner and they start squinting and stuff. Oh, Warrior's he's already on top of stuff right there. Hey Stevie, welcome to the stream. 3 rum and cokes already. He's already got a few up on us.
Oh, well, we can't have that. Where's my rum? That's why it's the rum good.
I got some Jack and Coke, maybe. I don't know.
I'm a pansy. I drink a little bit of bourbon every now and then, a couple of shots here and there, but that's about it. But I really enjoy watching other people drink. A friend of mine a few months back stopped in and totally blew me and Ed away, because as soon as he walked in the door, he didn't even grab a glass. He grabbed one of my salad bowls and reached up on top of my fridge and pulled down a fifth of honey Baron I can't talk today. Honey bourbon. Yes, honey bourbon. And he just basically just went look, 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 filled that salad bowl up, sat down in the chair, and just. And then he was like, "You said you had beer? Yeah, there's some in the fridge." Yeah,
A beer chaser, huh?
something like that. Well, I hadn't seen him in a long time, and he showed up, and uh, probably I kind of expected, just kicking back for a few hours and shooting the shit and catching up and everything like that. And maybe about 40 minutes after he did that, he was out. He had already driven. He had already driven like 4 or 5 hours to get here and everything like that because he's a different part of the state. So I haven't been paying as close attention to the Facebook groups. What's the major problem out there today with people? I'll put my impression monkey up for a little bit there. There, he's sitting up there waiting patiently.
It's been more the bed leveling and basics.
All right, we'll still be up for a while, Warrior. There's no set time for this stream or anything like that, but the average kind of tends to be a couple hours or so. I'm gonna check Discord. There's a couple of things going on Discord right now.
Oh yeah, not bad. Oh. Now I'm gonna get text messages. I'll be right back.
Yep. Nope, nothing new yet there. Yeah, sure. I mentioned rum and coke, and everybody takes off. Everybody goes to fill back up. Well, we're a little bit early for a lot of the regulars that show up anyway, so.
All right. I got chocolate. This is standard for now.
Well, artillery's been on some really weird hours. It's about 7 a.m. for artillery right now. I left them a message. We may see some artillery people showing up.
Yeah, this camera angle makes it funny because when I lean back in the chair, it's like I'm just slowly sinking down. It's going to make me sit upright, isn't it?
Yeah, if I lean back too far, the pneumatics of this chair actually start sinking you backwards too. So.
You guys are starting to talk about drinking. Let's get started.
Is that a stormtrooper decanter?
Yes, you do.
You know how long it took me to get this darn thing? Like forever and a day. The glass that I had that matches it got shattered in transport, of course. But I mean, who wouldn't want a stormtrooper head filled with liquor?
How he's got a version 4. You put a mirror on it so you can remove the prints quicker. Yeah, I enjoyed the glass beds. The two of the printers that you're looking at in the lab cam right there um, have the original artillery glass beds on them, and I loved using them that way. But ultimately, I ended up putting the 1 millimeter PEI sheet on them. Well, I do that on all the printers, so.
I should have did that.
It's a quality of life improvement.
Well, the other thing is that after a while, the chrome logo underneath starts to wear off a bit on the old glass ones. That's one of the reasons why I bought it, was because of how cool the bed looked.
Well, yeah, oh yeah, that was the first thing. I almost didn't want to print on it. It was like, oh, this is so cool. This is like a tabletop or something.
Yeah, I was like resistive at first, but I was like, yeah, I got to print on it, so. I was like, I know what I did to my Enders when I got them, and how badly I messed up the beds, and I was like really, really careful. But after a while, like the heat in the center, kind of like, I don't know. Does the PEI sheet do it with yours? Do you still have the chrome underneath? Mine's getting kind of worn.
Yeah, that's the image has never changed.
See, I don't know if it's from my heating element or because that's what I'm guessing.
Well, the PEI sheet is sealed to the glass bed with the 3M adhesive. So maybe that seals it in, locks it in, whatever. Either way,
Or it's drawing the heat up away from it. That's the only thing I think of, because, like I said, I've been using the standard glass, and like I said, now I look at it, I can get it clean again. It looks beautiful. Like the black still looks nice, but like in a section of it on each of them, almost the same spot where like almost where the heat element's at, that chrome kind of got like dingy. I still wish we could get those beds though.
The suggestion has been put out there. Hey, you're way out of focus, Ed.
Yeah, I noticed. I'm trying to.
He's been drinking. He's blurry now.
Yeah, waiting on camera 3 to come in through AliExpress. Shipping 4 to 7 days.
Man on bicycle bring to you?
Well, everybody's saying on the groups, it's taking forever to get stuff from China. There you go, Ed.
I'm surprised it's coming at this
better.
point, honestly.
That's better, yeah.
China is not having as much of an issue with shipping as everywhere else in the world is.
Not so much them having an issue with shipping, but even people letting it in their borders. You know what I mean? That's what surprises me. Because, they made such a big deal about it, and now they're cutting all the flights down.
I still think it's kind of funny in a way, because so many people have gotten so dependent on this. Oh, geez, the shipping's within a couple of days, or maybe a week, or a week and a half at most. It's like, geez, I remember when it used to be 4 to 6 weeks for delivery.
Right.
And that wasn't really that long ago. So it's like, what are you people complaining about?
I mean, you were like, I got a really good deal on it, but I better not need it right away, because it's going to be like a month and a half at least. I used to buy stuff in bulk because I was afraid, like, well, yeah, I'm not going to get it for a while, so I better order it now.
Hey, Corn, how's it going?
What's going on, Corn?
I'm feeling magical. I've been listening to Harry Potter. The audiobook of the Philosopher's Stone is currently available free on Audible.
Echo.
To hear it,
Shut up.
I feel like I'm in the Portal game now.
Echo. Who's your daddy?
that is easy to answer. It is you all.
Yeah, you know it is. Shut up. That's my
6 inches of snow.
That's
really?
That's my Alexa in the studio here, sounding off. Okay, snow is blasphemy right now.
Right?
I'm gonna go get my coffee refreshed. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon Prime has got me really spoiled, and then this happened, and it's gotten bad because I'd be like, oh, I can wait. I don't need filament right now, and then I'm like running out. I'm like, I need filament. Oh, it's not a priority. No.com.
Actually, I'm kind of surprised about that one because with all the people doing the 3D printing of masks and stuff like that, I would think that would become actually a slightly higher priority.
That's what I thought, and I mean, you know, we've actually messaged them because I've been doing it for Chicago area. I've been doing the PPE stuff with a group, and they've been better with it, but they're still like, oh, it's like, you know, 10 days out. It's like, dude, I don't have 10 days. I went through almost half of my overstock that I had been building up over time. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
No, and I mean, it may have to do with how much that they have in whichever warehouse is local to you.
Right.
There's a lot of groups all around the country that are doing lots of printing right now. So I was watching some group over actually in Canada that they set up a bank of like 30 printers or something. And they were like, okay, we go through, 1.5 spools per printer per day. And we've got like 20 printers here. So it's like, that adds up some serious.
Yeah, it does.
And
I got in on this deal.
Oh, geez, what is that, 5 kilo?
This is 10 pounds.
Yeah, 5 kilo. Or just under, I should say.
Well, I'm still old school. I'm not good at converting.
I'm an engineer. I have to be able to convert.
I have to use Google for that a lot of times because I can't wrap my head around it. Because they taught me, the standard system first and then introduced the metric back in my day. It was like, they were kind of like, yeah, we're going to try it, but no, we're not going to do it. And then went back to standard. So it was like, and then I started doing different CNC and printing, and I'm like, oh, I go back to, metric. Oops.
Well, but to me at least, and this isn't everybody, but to me, metric was not that hard overall, just being the base 10 and stuff. So it was like, oh, well, it's just like regular numbers. It's just figuring out what size that is in comparison.
Yeah, I'm not saying the math is easy on it. Don't get me wrong. I get the conversions and all of that, but wrapping my head around physical size for some reason doesn't work. I don't know why. Maybe because I did carpentry when I was younger. That throws me off because I can't all the time picture where it's going to be on size.
Well, the easiest thing I do is, it's 25.4 millimeters per inch or 12.5 for a half inch. So those two, get pretty close. I can get pretty close to what I'm, thinking of. They're not the exact conversion, but it's close enough for winging it on a lot of different things just to get an estimation. Where it starts getting weird is when you start trying to convert, feet to the metric, and then it starts like, oh, what was that? 25 to 30? No. Starts rattling around my brain. And that's why
I hate getting somebody else's printer files when they're using standard for their, their whatever designer they're using, and forget to convert it over, because then you end up with a little part this big, and they get mad at you. It's like, your part's this big. I have to figure it out. I got to figure out what you wanted.
Or the opposite, when it's, well, yeah, for the most part, it goes to being so much smaller because most people aren't doing metric back to English, so, or American Standard, or however you want to call it. But I got stuff like, I carry around my little ruler thingy here that has all the inches and metric on there and a clear path so I can see things clear. And then, of course, the old handy dandy electric calipers, because that way I can switch to either one. And I use them for a lot of things when I'm doing design work.
Yeah, I've gotten into that. I got the calipers and all of that, and I never thought I'd be using it, but there I am.
Well, something that I actually found with the calipers, it's kind of neat. I'll see if I can show it. Here's the pair of calipers, and right here up at the top, there's this little door it takes a little bit, but you can pop the thing off. And underneath there's actually an access port that they use when they're doing the initial programming of the thing. And there are some people on regular CNC machines, like a mill, who have taken these particular types of calipers and they actually attach they attach wiring to it, and they hook it up so that it's actually like bolted to the machine, and the caliper moves with the machine, and it gives them a digital readout on where they're running their mill, which is like, I thought that was cool as hell, because normally those things cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And now I can go out to Harbor Freight, grab myself, a couple of $15-$20 calipers, and bam, a little bit of effort, and I've got digital working. So
Yeah,
not
cool.
something that we necessarily need for 3D printing, but for other stuff that I do sometimes, taking things apart and repurposing them for something else. It's something that I do a lot of, especially in electronics.
Yeah, Howie, I wanted to go to Murph, but I don't think that's going to be in the cards this year.
Didn't they bump the date of it, or didn't they move the date of it?
I'm not sure, and you know how it's going with the way it is now. Who knows how long they're extend this social distancing stuff? So I don't know. I don't see anything happening this year. I really don't.
Wasn't that supposed to be like in September or something like that? No. That's Murph is.
No, that's your side. That's the other one. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head.
Earth.
Yeah, Earth.
Murph.
That's what it is. Earth. My bad.
Well, it's East Coast Rep Festival, so
Yeah. Murph's a little bit closer to me.
Yeah, where I was staying last year after I came back from Hawaii, well, where I was stuck for 4 months. I was like an hour away. It was just like an hour away, and I still didn't get a chance to show up. I just would have went there and started a bunch of fights anyways, me being me.
Well, I was going to go to the last one, but I still had the problem with my back, so I didn't want to be like in a crowd. So,
well, hey, if they do have it, and if people are gonna go, it'd be really, really cool if you showed up. Let me get this to load real quick here. Walk around with your 3DN t-shirt.
yes. I think the Sergeant Taj one looks better. Just me.
Well, I just need to get me some images and everything like that, and I'll put it up on the swag board up here.
I will. I want to make sure to dial it in first. I was just playing.
see, now I've got to ask, if you're going to use Taz, can you actually sound like Taz?
If you get me mad enough, yes. That's how I got the nickname originally.
You get that.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, printing. I was kind of hoping the box would be done earlier so I could show people how easy it is to print a very, very thin and skinny yet tall item on the PEI sheets without having to worry about them getting knocked over or falling over. The lid for that box is only It's about a eighth of an inch wide, and I print them standing up.
Any particular reason you print it standing up?
For the grain,
Okay.
especially if you're printing them in wood, the layer lines um, are accented, or I should say, the layer lines, if you allow them to be in the print, they kind of help you accent the fact that you're printing it in wood. And when you go to stain it, it just adds all that much more of an effect to it.
Okay.
I think I got an image. Let me see if I can get a couple of these up real quick here.
I was just curious because I didn't see the need for a lot of strength, and I was like, I always find it interesting somebody else's take on it. So
Well, actually, I think it's more like he's saying. In that case, he's not going for strength; he's going more for an aesthetic. How it
right, the
looks.
look.
So, if that's what you're going for, then that's the way that it's going to be best. And just the fact that he can print it upright, and it's very thin. That the corner that's right actually onto the I think it comes out to almost a quarter inch, a little bit less, but the upper part of the lid is definitely about an eighth of an inch. And I've seen it. It's just like when I first saw the thing printing, I'm looking at that going, okay, how did you manage that one?
Right.
Like, he says, I had a couple of failures, it came loose and stuff, but I tweaked it in and it worked. And now he just prints them right off like nothing.
So is that one is he running that supported? Because I mean, I know
Nope.
I did the box. Well, I'm talking about support for the inner so the lid fits on. Because like I did the puzzle box from Hellraiser, and that has an inner lip, and then the top is like out on the edge.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
So he's not supporting any of it on the bottom where that extra lip is at?
Nope.
It's a 90-degree and about maybe a quarter up?
Yeah, well, the thing is the main portion is probably have to go to 16ths because it's like 3/16ths on the lower part of the lid, and it's about an eighth of an inch on the upper part. So it's not really going out that far. And when he's doing it, when he gets to that point, the fan has already come on, and the cooling's good enough that it just goes right across.
It's called proper bridging.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I just play an expert. I don't claim to be one.
Hey, look at it this way. An expert, it's divided out. An X is a has-been, and a spurt is a drip under pressure. So has-been, drip under pressure. Whatever.
Those are nice. Like I said, I did the Hellraiser box, but I did them flat. It didn't matter because I wasn't going for a layer line on it. I wasn't going wood. So, but I was just wondering because I know like when you got those lips and then you're trying to stand that on that edge, I can't see it coming out. But
well, I think he has like a little bit of a taper on the one where it's not just straight out that much. I think it comes in just a little bit, but it also makes it easier for it to fit on top of the box too.
Okay.
If it's perfectly square, then it's almost exactly right down inside.
Oh, Bolos, man, I'm so sorry. After the stream the other night, that was on my list, and my list got covered up by coffee. I swear to God, I'll get that put up tonight. I swear to God, I'll put it on the Nexus, and I'll actually post it to the Facebook group as well.
And how did I age though? I don't understand that one. I don't think I look any older today. Unless he's talking about your partner that's on the stream with us.
Corn-fed.
I just thought about it and it clicked. Never mind.
Corn-fed proper bridging. It's all about your fan and your bridge settings in your slicer for how high the fan goes and the speeds. The Prusa slicer bundle that I put out there really has a good, and it is actually the key or main setting set that I use on just about everything for that. Yeah, there's yeah, there are all sorts of happy 90s in that model.
Yeah, it was just like I said. I know the Hellraiser cube I got had that weird lid where it had like a chamfered edge all the way on the inside, and I was wondering how you'd print that vertically without having any support.
Well, that one right there, I love showing that one off right there. That's 020 layer height with wood dialed in. So it is possible on these Sidewinders, folks. There was a little bit of a Prusa and Sidewinder argument going on a little bit yesterday. Can I say the F word? Yeah, we can drop F-bombs because I've got mature ratings. Yeah, so fuck that. There's also some fresh ones there. That's all I put up for right now. Yeah, I kind of purposely, when I modeled that box, I originally put wood grain into it. The tree actually has bark on it. And when you inspect the print up really, really close, you see that bark in the tree. You can do some awesome stuff with the wood filament. One of these days, I've had more than one person ask me if I'd do a little bit of a theme demonstration on dialing in the wood and stuff like that, and I think that'll probably be a really cool short stream one of these days.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, I like how this turned out. I think that's a bit over my abilities at the moment. I can barely get a print to stick today. I don't know. I've been having tragedy after tragedy with the printers, so I don't know.
Well, part of that is just, the printers are so sensitive to the environment in some ways. I mean, if the humidity is high, that can change things. Temperature can change things. There's a lot of variables that you have to deal with, and even though you may have something pretty close to dialed in for all your settings, like I said, if there's more humidity or if the temperature starts changing and stuff, yeah, we had some interesting little once or twice where in the winter it was much colder, and we'd open up the door to the printer room and we'd get that little draft of cold air, and until we figured out to put some kind of a block in front of it, we'd open the door and we'd hear the tink and parts would pop off.
Oh,
that was the glass beds. It doesn't happen with the PEI now. Yeah. Let's see, Cornfed, in your S3D profile, I think you have the speed and multiplier set to 100. Yes, sir. And Bolos, is that a fuzzy finish on that one? Nope. That's all modeled into the model itself. Do I prefer Kira or Prusa? Yes. I use all three of them, and there's reasons why I'll bounce back and forth between some of the different slicers. Some models need, or it's actually kind of preferable to take advantage of the still advanced method for placing manual supports. To this day, Simplify 3D kicks everybody's ass for how easy it is to do proper manual supports. I don't care what anybody says. Come at me, bro. If you got a differing opinion, come at me. The Kira Kira's got some really cool finish options and things like that that are from time they're kind of going back and forth between experimental and in the releases. I like playing with Kira because they're constantly trying new things and adding new things. It's just that they have a tendency to fuck versions up every number or two. And Prusa Slicer is coming along. The best thing in my view about the Prusa Slicer right now, I mean, I really like how much more it's advanced. I've been using it ever since the old Slicker or SLIC 3 ER days. It's a lot better than it used to be. Prusa, especially with the color change option when you use it on a printer that allows it, and the advanced layer height. You can throw up a model in the Prusa Slicer and just say at the top of the model where you've got a lot of detail, you can decrease the layer height, but just say your base, if your base is just a square flat base or something like that, you can set it for 020 and you can squeak it all the way down to 0.010 or 8 even up towards the top within the slicer. Kira's got the same feature now, but it's a little bit clunkier to use. And Bullows, is wood filament aggressive on your nozzle? Let me take a look. Nope, my nozzle's fine. There's a lot of that's another internet argument out there, and I'm going to talk to you as a machinist. Wood filament versus brass metal. It's not abrasive at all. I've got printers that printed wood filament exclusively for almost 2 years. No nozzle change needed. The nozzles look almost like the day I bought them. The filaments out there that can be abrasive are glow in the dark. Yeah, I mean, if you want to tear a hole the size of a water buffalo in short order, run glow in the dark filament.
Big nozzle fast.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or, well, you know, it's kind of funny. I told a guy the other day, he PM'd me. He goes, you know, I really want to try an 06 or an 08 nozzle on my printer. And he goes, but, you know, shipping time is so long and everything like that. And I was just joking with him. I said, you got any glow-in-the-dark filament there? He goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, I haven't tried it yet, though. I go, if you want an 06 or an 08 nozzle, just run half a spool of that glow-in-the-dark filament, and you'll have a 06 or a 08 nozzle when you're done.
Really quick. I got some of this stuff from CNC. The stuff was so abrasive, they actually offered the plastic housing for their extruder replacements with the spools. That's how abrasive it was. And it tore up the little plastic cover they put on them. It just ate it.
Hey Neptune, glad you got the firmware, and no problem. That's what it's there for.
So them including that with the filament was wise, because it tore up the extruder, and it tore up the nozzle really bad. It was beautiful when it came out, but boy, did it tear everything up. I just figured I couldn't pass up the deal. It was like pretty cheap, so I was like, okay. Yeah, I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah, carbon fiber's not exactly friendly, but it's not as bad. A lot of it depends on what heat you're running it at and the type of carbon fiber that you're running, because some are a little bit more testy than others. They have a little bit more of an abrasive property because of the way that the strands are laying in the filament. But again, it's not as bad as like your metal filled ones. Those can tear up nozzles. They got the iron fill and stuff like that, and there you're actually putting hot metal against metal, and those can tear up the nozzles a little bit faster. But wood, just like Earl says, wood versus brass. Guess which one's going to lose? Wood.
So Warrior's printing some can tops with lids. Posted it on our Discord.
Okay, I'll pop that up in a second there. Mike Stevens, which fan duct? I redid a user submitted fan duct from a while ago. That's what I use. It's a dual. But you'll also notice on the printer in the lab cam there, I've changed all of those over to 50/20s. And let's see, Cornfed, Prusa Slicer has been doing some weird things. Yeah, Prusa Slicer does do that every once in a while.
My keyboard just quit. What the hell?
Uh-oh.
It's that Bluetooth. It doesn't like me.
All right, no change in hardware during the stream, dudes.
I just shut off Bluetooth and turn it back on. It's okay.
Here, I got a perfect Bluetooth keyboard for you. Here.
All right, hold on. I can't see nothing. I got everything blocked. What the hell? Now it's not turning on. It's staying on. There it goes. Wow, that's a little bit small for me.
Oh, excuse me. What do we got printing there?
There we go. I'm not going to answer the question that was in chat.
And below us, does glow-in-the-dark filament wear the rollers? Oh,
Not really.
No, I've never really noticed, which is really strange. But okay, most of the time the rollers are steel.
Right.
Versus your nozzles, your stock nozzles, anyways, are brass.
And on the nozzles, when I was using that heavy duty filament that I got from CMC and CNC, I had one printer that was using the Micro Swiss ones, and it didn't even bother it. The brass one, though, like I said, it was like I just made myself an 08 really fast. Right in the middle of printing, too. I was like, it was coming out so nice, and all of a sudden it was like, why is it coming out like garbage? Oh, that's why.
It kind of messes with things when you change the diameter of your extrusion.
Yeah, it kind of screws up your extrusion rates.
Oh, I'm glad you're getting use out of the Kira profile there, Mike.
Yeah, I made a few of those for outside too, I have to admit, because we get those wonderful gnats and all kinds of bugs during the summers.
What's the design on top of that?
I was trying to see, I couldn't make it out though.
Real quick bathroom break for me here. I'm gonna throw the monkey up to watch over
No,
you guys.
no, you have to stay. You have to stay at the seat. You can't just leave the feed, bro.
Do you see the look on that monkey's face right now?
Does it look like that monkey cares? Gotta watch out. Around here, the monkeys have cattle prods. We get too lazy, they come swinging down from the rafters.
That's the info? Okay. So I'm gonna switch over really quick to my printers for a second while I look around, so I don't look like I'm not looking at you guys. I was having nothing but fun with the weather change and printing all of a sudden because I had to re-level everything and stuff wasn't sticking, and I was having all kinds of fun with a change because we went from like 60 degrees to like 40, and then the humidity got weird. So I don't know what the heck happened.
Yeah, we had some of that. Had like a
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, one day it's like, you can go outside without a coat. The next day it's like, okay, snow.
yeah, I saw that. We had some 60s up here, and it's like, hey, it's pretty nice, open up the windows and everything like that. And then all of a sudden it plunged down to the low 40s. And I was like, what the heck? Close the windows all back up again. And it's kind of that March madness, a little bit late, where the temperatures are just bouncing all over the place. It gets warm enough to wake up the damn wasps.
Yeah, right. I'm going to say it's better to print in winter because of the heat, at least in my office. Now, if you had a studio or something, probably not. But if you got like your own personal little farm inside like your house, it gets really hot. I mean,
yeah.
I don't have to have the heat on in here. I used to have the portable heater on this because this is an addition on my house. And I never quite get the flow I want from heat. I got these. I don't need my space heater anymore because when they're printing, it gets warm in here.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's nice and toasty, but not when the summertime. Because summertime is like, oh my god.
Oh hey, you're dumping heat in there, and it's going to dissipate someplace. So
right.
If you've got it closed up, then it's going to be warming up the room.
I mean, probably for temperature swings, summer's better because you're not going to have as much of a dramatic swing normally in the summertime.
For the most part, I can agree with that.
1 second.
Oh, goody. Now it's trapped on my face. And, show some of my stuff. I sit here and play around with stuff like Arduinos and various other little fun things, circuitry and circuit boards. The Arduino mounted to a 4.3, or I think this one's 3.4 TFT. It's about the same size as the one that's actually on the X1. And just to play with, figure out what's going on with it, try different programming techniques and stuff. And then other fun stuff like typical servos and stuff like that. I'm heavily on the electronics side, so electronics and the robotics and being able to print things with the 3D printer for housings and various other little bits and pieces that I need is what got me going real heavily into the 3D printing world. And of course, working with Ben on some of this other stuff. Just another tool in the toolbox. The more tools you have, he who dies with the most tools wins. Woo.
Yeah. Teaching Tech did the video, but I don't know if he explained it all the way. I don't remember because I haven't watched it in a while. But You can put the LEDs onto the EXP1 port, and tell Marlin that's using those instead, so that would work. That's if you have that port open. Now, if you're running a dual TFT, that's not going to be open, so you're kind of limited on the pins and where you can go. But if you're using the standard artillery, you can swap over to the EXP1 and use those pinouts, because the top one's going to be ground, and then the other three, you just pin out what those colors are in Marlin, and you can make it work. At least that's how I did it. Isn't he always grumpy? You must appease him.
I make the offering of bacon.
Oh, that'll make Odin very happy. I just don't know if my setup with my fan is good enough for that. I might be a little lacking in it with the way my design is. So why would that require supports though? Cool.
Yeah, those suckers are deep too.
How did you get the arm to? I don't see how you did it without support on that one arm. I gotta slow down, huh? I gotta stop trying to rush it. Is what you're trying to say?
And sometimes the best things take time. Oh yeah, to the end view. Like right at the very end, you can see how far
How
the
deep
slot
those are?
goes.
Yeah. Oh, no wonder why we're talking to nobody then.
Sorry, folks. I forgot I had my mic muted while I was off a minute ago. I was just describing. It's my bad. I've got a red dot on my mic button here too that it was showing up, and I didn't even notice it. I was showing off 90-degree angles that do not require support if your settings and your printer is tweaked right.
Yeah, I just think I try and rush it too much. I think I'm trying to go it too fast because I'm running like 120, so that's probably part of my problem.
Braces. I'm not into them. I don't have my filament riding on top of any of the printers. In the lab cam, you can see off in the corner right there. There's a larger. That's a Wanhao D9 right there, and it's got braces on it, and it's kind of overkill. The only reason those braces are on it is because that's how it came. When I was working with Wanhao, I pretty much had every printer and then some under the sun that they produce. So
I didn't see a huge improvement with my braces. I'll be honest. I got a brace one set just because I got a deal on them, and I didn't feel like making my own. So, but you know, I don't think there's a huge significance. But I do ride my spools on top, so that's the reason why I went that route.
I
Because
think
I don't
that's
have
about
space to put it. I don't have anywhere to put the spools up. So
Well, your print speed will have a little bit to do with that too, and also how stable of an environment your printer is on or in. We talked about this a little bit the other night. You can resolve a lot of artifacts in your prints just by making sure that the table or bench that you're printing on is stable. Um, a little bit of a dampener uh, modification of some kind, like the floor mats. Um, you get really good results with patio blocks too. The only thing is, a lot of people don't like bringing patio blocks into their house.
oops.
That would be a Mountain Dew in our face.
I just noticed that. I was like, whoops, okay. Hey, I got to get my programming good, man. And then just sit there and top it off with a wee bit of rum, and that'd be perfect. I just don't want to go digging up the rum right now, for obvious reasons. Something else that may be of interest to some of you, if you are determined to add something like bracing, and this was discussed the other night, was instead of going out and getting some of the carbon fiber rods, or the various other types of things that people are selling, go to garage sales and or something like that. And the tent poles, the ones that you can actually break apart, they got the little elastic type things in there. They've already got metal end caps on the things, and they're already pretty damn sturdy. And you can print up blocks and use those things as your recycled. Another thing that would work pretty well too is the lower ends of fishing rods. Sometimes instead of going out and buying something, sometimes just found materials, you look in different spots, you can find stuff that'll work real good for what you're trying to do. And you just see, that you want to have something that's got a good amount of rigidity, but yeah, if it has good rigidity, you can put those on there, and that works. I mean, heck, look at suspension bridges in a way.
Yeah, coconut. I had a lac table for about 5 minutes. The IKEA lac tables. Some of the models that I print shake the printer up a little bit just because of the travels involved. You see, like even with the wooden boxes and things like that. I think I still got that image up here. Yeah, like those wooden boxes right there. There's certain parts while it's printing, if you're printing at high speed, the printer wants to take off. So you got to make sure that you've got a really good dampening situation, or something stable that the printer's on. And those lac tables, literally, I was afraid of the lac table coming apart because at the time, this was a couple of years ago, I was testing, I think, at about 110 just to see how fast I could print the wood, and this is with a regular V6 hot end, and that I had to shut it down. And it was right after that point. I bought the table, I set it up and everything like that. I put the printer on it, and I couldn't trust it. It was also sitting on a wood floor, So any of the vibrations, you could go downstairs at the place where I was. You could go downstairs and you could pretty much. It was like the Flintstones were having a party upstairs.
Yeah, the floor acted like a gigantic speaker almost.
Yeah.
It amplified everything. And yes, bacon and dew. I will admit it. In fact, I can also add chocolate in with that as well. So yeah. If I want to eat it, I'm going to eat it.
Well, now that you showed the bacon off, the monkey's not impressed. Where's mine?
You can come and get it.
Hey, some of you users that are active on Facebook right now and everything like that, slap some of the people on Facebook around. Stop in on the stream here. Perfect opportunity to answer some of those support questions live, as opposed to making us wear our fingers thin. Shameless plug too. Like, follow, subscribe, especially on Twitch. We're trying to put ourselves into a position where, you get this screen up here, it'll take a second to load. Trying to get our followers, especially on Twitch, up to 50. As soon as we're able to hit 50 with that, we open up a bunch of perks on Twitch, as well as like you see on the screen right here. I'm going to be doing some giveaways and things like that once it gets up a little bit higher than that. Donations, I really don't give a shit about. That's a lot of people ask, and I put the links up and stuff like that. It's always appreciated and stuff, but it's just more about getting the perks that I can roll back for you users and things like that. So tell your friends, have them tell 10 friends. Pick the people on Facebook in the ass, tell them to show up. It's a little bit further down the road, we start getting the viewership up and everything like that. We'll consider giving away a Genius and a Sidewinder too. Artillery had already made mention they were gonna get in on that with us too. Any other companies out there, I've been contacted by a couple, and I'm passing some information back and forth about how we're going to approach with it. But any other companies that want to get some ad time in and some sponsor time in and everything like that, I'm more than happy to talk to you. Just shoot me a tell, let me know. What did Taz say? He was taking a nap or something?
No, I got stuck with a printer problem, so I had to fix it.
You all right with it?
Yeah, usual BS that I gotta mess with.
Oh, hey, thanks for the follow, Coconut. Yeah, on Twitch I opened up some more emotes too. Not everybody's into them or anything like that. I enjoy throwing a few up there. There's a couple little games we're going to get into that are Twitch natured and things like that. There's all sorts of little Twitch fun functions and things like that, like emote pyramids and stuff like that. I'm just coming back to Twitch after being away from it for a year or two, and a lot has changed. So there's going to be a lot more people out there that might be better schooled at it than I am, and it's just something we'll play with and add as the hell? Okay.
Yeah, well, the LED is very bright on that. At least on camera. It looks good in real life, but on camera it looks like garbage.
It almost looks like you're laser cutting or something.
You know, it was nice for when I'm actually looking at it because it lights the plate up. but on the camera, it just kind of muddies it out. I'm getting feedback from somebody. Who am I getting feedback from?
Not here. Sounds fine on my end.
Well, let me mute my mic really quick and see if that was me maybe bouncing back. I don't know. It's just weird. I kept hearing something. Who knows?
If you are using Marlin 1.9, can the filament sensor be removed? Yes, it sure can. All of the printers, I have all of the filament sensors disconnected.
Yep. Me too.
Biggest problem that I can see with most of those filament sensors is basically inside there. It's just a single lever arm limit switch, and so sometimes it's hard to get the filament past it because they have like a little hook shape, and the filament will get cut like a square cut. It'll come underneath the hook portion, and it'll block it off. And then the other thing is that sometimes they get crud built up in there, and it'll hold the sensor switch open even if it does run out of filament.
Nobody likes crud. Nobody likes crud, man.
Yeah. Usually it takes quite a bit to get that crud built up to where it'll actually hold the switch in. But yeah, even with the artillery ones, we took it apart and I modified the little PTFE tube thing that leads into them. I had to shave it down a little bit, the inside diameter. I made it kind of funnel shape so that when you stick the thing through there, you could actually get it threaded. And we just kind of, we're in here watching the things, they're monitored a little bit better to where the filament sensor really wasn't a necessity. So I'd like to play around with some of the visual ones, the ones that have like a little sensor in there it's opposing type thing. That way it doesn't even have to touch the filament. But those can get kind of tricky, especially if you use like a clear filament, which isn't that often, but you want to make sure that you don't have to worry about that type of thing when you're running.
Bullis, unplugging the sensor, you don't have to worry about unplugging it from the main board. Just leave it disconnected up at the top of the printer. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to worry about messing around with the wires at the bottom end or anything like that. That way it's always an option. If for some goofy reason you want to start using it again, you've got that option open.
Yeah, I think where it's set on the artillery, unfortunately, I think it provides more tension than it should.
Yeah, Octoprint is great if you have a use for it. Multiple occasions I considered going through, considering the amount of printers that we have here at any point in time, I considered setting that type of a system up and everything like that, but I'm here 24/7. I don't need remote monitoring of the printers. I'm never any more than about 10 or 15 feet away from them day in and day out, so.
I like it for the convenience. I don't have to swap SD cards around or any of that stuff, so that's the reason why I go with it. I can pretty much slice a file and send it off and forget about it and let it roll.
I'm also one of the guys, though, I reslice my files for printing all the time. I don't keep... I've already made that mistake on more than one occasion, especially running production. If I accidentally swap an SD card that goes on the wrong printer, so I slice to the SD cards and I physically walk back and forth between them. That way I know I'm working with the G code that I want on that printer. And I'm not a fan of having my printers hooked up to anything other than power. Do you need to change anything in Marlin to get rid of the filament sensor? Absolutely not. Just unplug it. Oh, hey,
Yeah,
cool.
the
Hey,
way it
cool.
detects.
Make
can
it
just
out of wood.
unplug it.
Make it out of wood. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Make it out of wood. Thanks for the follow. Since you were showing
I
up
don't
there.
know that one.
Oh, Echo, shut up.
Yeah, you don't like anything external, but you got an echo.
I've actually kind of made that particular observation. Of course,
Sorry.
we're also the type that'll sit here and say, we know you're listening to us. Don't forget to send, the monkeys and the tutus, crazy, weird stuff just in case. Usually Echo just goes back, I don't understand that.
Now you're asking for your government checks, right?
Hey, make it out of wood. I got an image to throw up for you. I don't know if you were here for earlier in the stream or not. We were talking about wood filament for a little while. You'll be able to catch the larger part of that conversation after the stream is reposted or whatever. It's early in the stream. But just for the heck of it, I'll show this image up. If you've got some stuff that you printed up and everything like that, hop on our Discord and throw some of those images up. We'll put them in show off here. And do that on a pretty regular basis.
Actually, looking at that box, it looks like the box finished on the printer out there.
Well, the one that's on the lab cam right now, that's actual just brown filament. I wanted to see how it would print up just in a brown filament, and I'm not a fan of it, but it still looks okay. Be right back.
Yeah, I do look pretty old now. I was kidding. He needs to put that together.